Hello and welcome back. This is Orcs Presents Orcs Must Die, level 22 squeeze. This is where I play through on Nightmare to achieve the 5 skulls, and I give a little bit of a commentary and review of the level. So this is the one where you get the grinder, which is probably my most used weapon. And if you haven't been watching the series, it's one of the only 2 items I do have upgraded going into this. Now, I was having quite a bit of difficulty with this one without the use of barricades. So kind of like what we did in the last map, except probably a lot more straightforward. We just block off one side of the actual rift. So this is probably the most interesting map layout, and it comes with a total of 4 logs as well, and 2 portals. So in the first wave, you got about 4 or 5 air units, which I like to deal with straight away, and a whole bunch of orcs ground units coming out. I mean, it takes them a while to get to the rift, but you got to set up that barricade defense quite early, because how it kind of works is on the northern side, the orcs come from the top and work their way down to the middle, which is where your rift is, and then on the southern end, that's where the stairs descend. That's from the rift, it descends down to the other exit where the orcs come out. So it's about popping in and out of the portals, going to each of the different entrances. So here I'm just making a complete wall off of the rift for the ones coming from the southern end, which is now this end. Also like to place coin forges along the ground, because I'll be primarily killing things with my spells or the logs, I suppose, grinders and arrow weapons. So I don't have any ground traps other than the charm and of course the barricades. The first couple of waves are actually quite easy, the first 2, and just generate a bit of revenue for you to be able to complete this wall off. Now here's you've got a couple of options. I'm just going to take it to the extreme and do what I normally do on most levels, except add the paladin there just to be a block, and the grinders there as well, because this is a Cabal run. I mean, I'm not using slow traps, or the air traps, which is other options you could be using on the ground. So I'm just placing that paladin there for extra protection. I did have the guardians, but they don't quite have the same impact of stopping units, especially if it gets overwhelmed, and I needed something a bit more beefier than archers, because they just weren't kind of cutting it. So anyway, once again, there's another map where you have to keep an eye out on the mini-map, and I've got a little bit more leeway on the orcs coming from the southern entry point, as they'll have to get stuck in court, and the ones in the northern, they'll come sort of more straight to this choke point here. This choke point's kind of fine, but I do have to be wary not to let my paladin drop, not to let him, get downed or killed. So I mean, it gets a bit hectic at times, so just manage it on this one. And I do decide to buff the guardians. He's actually got quite a fair bit of health. I'm a bit surprised at how much he does have, but placing the grinders there as well, they're actually pretty good at stopping the Cabals. If you have that barricade up, they'll probably stop them 9 times out of 10. Oh, that was a very good ice. So the flying units, because I have chosen not to go with the archers or crossbows or anything like that, I am the anti-air in this level. Later on I try to place some arrows along the wall, but they're not quite as effective as I thought they would be on this map for some reason. So anyway, you can see scores and scores and scores of orcs are coming. I find that on wave 3 and 4 are probably the waves where, if you want to use one of the logs, which is just down behind me to the right, this would be the wave to do it. I'd say that there's quite a few orcs, and it would be nice just to kill them all with one fire of your crossbow, and send that log rolling down their way. But I decided to save it. I'm not really someone who uses the environment traps that often, unless they're melting pots, because they reset. so I just typically rather play a play style where I'm not reliant on using those things in certain waves, and are kind of there just if I get sort of overwhelmed or make mistakes, and they're kind of there for me to recover with. Here I I popped in and out of the wrong portal a couple times, but there you go. I saw the air units coming in from the side and took them out straight away with the ice, because like I said, I am the only anti-air, so if I can kill them while they're all still bunched up at the start, that's great. And I know that with the ground units, the ones coming from the north have to go around all this crazy zigzag stuff, and the ones from the south, you know, they still have to go through the choke point. So the ground units aren't as threatening as the air units. And most of the air units will end up at this point. That's why I decided to block off this side of the rift as opposed to the other, because they will actually stop and shoot the paladins, as you can see there, which is quite handy, and quite handy that they've got the shield to prevent them from taking damage from air units. The reason why the barricades work on this level is because there are no sappers, so that's something, if there's any map you're having troubles with and there aren't any sappers, then do consider using barricades. Also, I know that there is, you know, the lava pits here next to the rift, so if you wanted to use push traps or the wind ability to push them in, you can, although that's something I typically don't really do. So yeah, so I'll just be building on what I'm doing here. I mean, I've got probably all the barricades I want up, unless if I want to create more grinder chokeholds or replace any. So I'll just be looking to place more arrow traps along all the money traps that I placed, as well as the charm. So here's a lovely free armored ogre gift. So he's just popped out by himself along this side. I can see all the dots on the bottom, so I quickly throw an AoE, go to dash to jump through the red portal. Sometimes mentally you forget which one you've just jumped out of, so do take a note whenever you jump in a portal what the colour is, so you don't accidentally re-jump into the same one. Also, you can on that bridge, and I have other times when trying to complete this map, put like the mace on those overhead bridges, and they just absolutely slaughter the orcs. But you have to use the wind ability quite a bit on that. Once again, this level wave 6 seems like another one where you could use the rolling logs. Like I said, you get 4 in total, but I'm choosing not to use them at this point. There's a fire ogre and he's got a shaman following him. I'm not quite sure what happens if you charm a shaman, and if he resurrects any charmed monsters that you have. That's an interesting thought. That would be pretty cool if he resurrected your armored ogre for you. So once again, nice and early, getting all those air units while I can. It's kind of ignoring the kobolds until I've dealt with it. So I want to set up a few more arrow traps and have ones facing this way, and those will definitely kill the kobolds as they run into them. They can't quite escape those ones as easy. So I'm just having a look. Kobolds have made it out here, a few lightnings. That poor fire ogre couldn't quite keep up, but eye on the mini map, I see that they're coming out through this way near the ogre, so just do AoE and, you know, thin out as much as I can. So here's another little kill area I'm setting up with the arrows, and so that way I can get the max money without actually being there and having to push the wind back or anything like that. So that's kind of why I'm limiting where I'm putting those arrow traps. I could put them double side along the money, along the coin forges, but for some reason I haven't quite done that. So the next wave's about to start. I'm on full health and mana, so just deciding which entrance to go into. See lots of crossbow orcs, so I just throw the AoE lightning and see what's coming through the other side to make sure that there's nothing too dangerous. It looks like more crossbow orcs, so just using the lightning there to take them out. Going back to get more mana, because with that much amount of crossbow orcs, the best thing is just to use the lightning. So yeah, look at that, just the whole 3 lightning, and I just killed about, I don't know, 15 or so, just in 3 shots. So there is a little shaman, or 2 shamans, and they are multiplying by the looks of it. And a ghost crossbow orc. He looks a bit dodgy, but anyway. So the next wave starting, just jump anytime, run by the rift, just get a little bit extra health and mana. Jump back in, see what's happening. See, they just get sucked into that grinder. So I really should double up and put the grinder on the other side, or more arrows, that will do. And actually utilize the coin forge. Now I shouldn't have done that, I should have dealt with that kobold, but that's alright. The grind as well. Just chasing up on those air units that are coming out. Now I'm looking at the mini-map and it looks like there's a hell of a lot of a swarm getting around the bend, as well as there's heaps on this one, so I'm just going to place some traps. Try and kill them as quickly as possible, but really just make sure that this other side's not getting too overrun. It hasn't quite looked like it's gone to that point, because I've got this fire ogre there, so that was good. And it's just running back to this side now to kill the air units. See, they just pop up in that window and kill those paladins. So you might pay to put a paladin on the other side of the rift, behind the barricades as well, just in case there's some flying units that come from the opposite direction. So here we go, I've put some wall traps up there because I know the flying units come straight out of it, but it doesn't seem to be enough to kill them for some reason. I mean, it does damage them, but they still get through on very low health. So yeah, quick reactions there, saw him and managed to charm him. Got the whole school of little kobolds running around, so there's more arrow traps. Making it really hard for them just to make it even through to this final one, to the final bend to the rift. So it's kind of a mix of jumping between the two portals to try and thin out the units you can at the start. Having all these arrow traps on the coin forges really helps give me more money, so I can build even more traps. And then just running back to the rift and making sure that neither side is getting too overrun, and you know, helping out where you can of any charmed units that you've got. So I know that this is the 10th wave, about to hit wave 11, so I'm not quite sure if there's any monsters I haven't seen, and there hasn't been that many ogres, so I don't know if they're going to come on this one. You can see in the mini-map up the top there's flying units, so I go to go sort those out. See, look at that, because I got them nice and early. I managed to get a whole big bunch of them, even though 2 of them get to survive. So quickly throw out some. See, it didn't quite kill him, did it? You know, it didn't really do that much damage to him. So I don't know if it was worth it or not, or how many you would have to place. Yeah, just looking at the mini map, I can see that swarm heading down, but all the arrow traps take care of them. So that was quite nice. There's the final ones up around here. I know I haven't used the logs yet. May have accidentally shot one. I can't really remember. But I'm sure I used them in one of the things. Okay, another fire, another gift. Here we go. Thank you. I'll take him. So here's the final one. I think I used the log on this, even though I didn't quite need to. So it's just really looking just to spend money at this point. Take out the flying units ASAP. I've got so many arrow traps there, I don't think much would make it through anyway. So I see a couple of little dots heading towards the rift itself. Quite funny actually. And he would have got sucked up or dealt with by the sword guy. So just jumping to the rift and making sure that nothing's going to take me by surprise and getting a quick heal while I'm there. There's one flying unit who made it through. And yeah, see how much spares. Oh, I must have shot that one. I don't remember shooting it. But yeah, see, a lot of the units haven't even made it through yet because of all the arrows. So it's just keeping an eye on those air units. So yeah, so it's a little bit dirty method of blocking off the rift that way with the barricades, but they give you enough money at the start and it works. So that was the method I used to pass this map. Otherwise it was a bit hectic having to try and protect both sides of the rift without creating some sort of, you know, barricade. I thought I had to kill that armored ogre. Oh, there's one more ogre here. So they're having a battle, and I'll just jump in, give them a couple of headshots, should take him out fairly quickly. But yeah, that was level 22, the squeeze on Nightmare, achieving the 5 skulls. You can compare scores if you really want. Yeah, cheers for watching, and see you guys next time.